We found out earlier this week that in the days leading up to January 6th, when the riot at the Capitol happened, those in Trump's inner circle had apparently organized a PowerPoint presentation for possible options for ending democracy in America. As it was, we knew previously that it was 38 pages long. It was titled "Election Fraud, Foreign Interference, and Options for January 6th." I love that, like, every single person that put this together, that's in the meeting around it, that is gonna be talking about this PowerPoint, knows exactly what they're doing, but they still have to like pretend that it's justified. So they say election fraud, foreign interference, all of that. It's just they wanna stop the certification of the vote. So we knew that. We knew that a couple of days ago. Mark Meadows had apparently provided it to the January 6th committee before he ended his cooperation with that body. But now we have some of the actual slides from the PowerPoint. So let's jump into that. So here's one. First of all, graphic design, very much their passion. So VP Pence seats Republican electors over the objections of Democrats in states where fraud occurred. Let's be clear about that. So we sort of need to break these down. When that first line says seats Republican electors, what they mean is there were electors chosen for these states, and Republicans in the states just decided, no, we don't like that, so here are a bunch of randos that we've chosen instead. They're not electors in any way, they're just a group of Republicans that want Trump to be president. So they want to do that. VP Pence could reject the electors from states where fraud occurred, and we know how they're defining where fraud occurred. It's where they think it needed to have occurred to explain why Trump lost. Causing the election to be decided by remaining electoral votes. So again, just cancel out enough states until de facto Trump wins. That's it. They're pretending as if there's still ambiguity after that. So we get rid of the objective fraud, and then I guess we'll see who wins after that. We don't know. Tune in. Or delay the decision in order to allow for a vetting and subsequent counting of all the legal paper ballots. So they were gonna begin to cancel out individual votes around the country until again, Trump had won. So out of the two slides we have, Brett, this is the less terrifying one, but what do you make of the options they laid out there so far?
Now, Hannah Arendt coined a phrase, the banality of evil. And there is nothing more banal and evil than a PowerPoint about destroying democracy. Like boring, not even a fun PowerPoint. There's no clip art. Nothing's animating on. There's no background music or inlaid videos. This is a PowerPoint to destroy the Constitution of the United States of America. It was like add a slide, but don't like delete and customize. This whole thing was just click and replace ipsum dolor locator.
Yeah. Because none of this has any relationship to law, to the Constitution, anything. It's what is the plausible deniability that we can use to just end actual elections in this country?
Right, and that's it's people passing it around. There's a lot of presentations that exist out there. There's a lot of contingency plans that a lot of people have just in case. And usually those contingency plans are not how do we undo, like the ones I want passed around in the halls of Congress are not how do we undo the Constitution? It's how do we protect against the dissolution of the Constitution?
Sure, yeah. So you're 100% right, but let's go into a few more of those mechanisms. So their recommendations that they provided were brief senators and congressmen on foreign interference. I don't even know now. I'm so like I've lost the track of a couple of their conspiracy theories. I don't even know what that's a reference to now. Is that like the Hugo Chavez thing with Dominion? Is that China? So. Is that I honestly don't even know. The next one though is declare national security emergency. That seems important. The fourth is declare electronic voting in all states invalid. So we have been gaslit quite a bit from right-wing media throughout this year about this isn't a coup. How could you say that? Having the sitting president say, we're going to declare a national security emergency and begin nullifying votes, possibly entire states if necessary, until I'm still president, is like, it's the most coup thing ever. Technically, and just to be clear, it's what's referred to as a self-coup or an auto-coup. It's a form of coup d'etat in which a nation's leader, having come to power through legal means, dissolves or renders powerless the national legislature and unlawfully assumes extraordinary powers not granted under normal circumstances. That could include annulling the nation's constitution, suspending civil courts, and having the head of government assume dictatorial powers. So they were going to begin nullifying states, choosing their own electors, getting rid of millions of votes under the guise of a national security emergency, while pretending interference happened from abroad. That is the most, this is everything that we spent years saying they might try to do. But because we still technically have Biden in office, they didn't succeed in it. If you acknowledge that what they did was the most stereotypical coup attempt ever, then you are the crazy person. There's something wrong with you. You're hysterical. You're an extremist. You're radical there, Brett.
Yes, and the chat's really trying to find the perfect wording for this. And the answer is actually automoronic asphyxiation. There's a lot of autocourotica.
Well, that's the podcast title, I think.
Yeah, autocourotic. Yeah, anyways, automoronic asphyxiation. This is the, just to put it all in perspective, it has become very clear that the previous situation where like politicians did politician things and the Republican approach was just to do all the homework and the behind the scenes things to make sure that they use the Constitution and they use all the actual tools at their disposal to not break the law, but essentially use the like way in the weeds mechanisms of the American system to solidify power, and then not really care about the messaging, do BS messaging out there. It has changed to getting everyone in the Republican Party, the voters, everybody out there, to think that the mechanisms of American democracy are BS, shouldn't exist. And all these people who are saying, let's value the Constitution and what it stands for, actually are arguing for dissolving it. And those people, this is a different version of what you're saying, but those are the ones who say they want to make America great again. America has never been the way you want it to be. America was actually designed to stop you from making these kinds of choices, from creating a king. Because this entire PowerPoint presentation is what BS quasi almost real sounding mechanism can we use to get rid of America? That's it. You want to get rid of it. You're a traitor. This is treason. These are the boring plans of people who hate this country and what it was designed to do, which is prevent a king from saying there is no democracy.
Yeah, try to stop exactly that. And
that's why
you're
America.
Right, you're about the banality, because there's no like explosion gifs playing in that PowerPoint. It's just, they try to do it and we move on. No one's gonna get in trouble for plotting to use a national security emergency to nullify an election. And they're still out there doing it. And they did fail. And that might lead some people into a false sense of security because we know they're gonna try again, but don't worry, they failed. Except, as we're gonna talk about in Georgia, at the state level, at the local level, they're taking more unilateral control over elections. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.